I think we're going to hit all-time highs. I think we're going to smash through them, to be honest, man. Like, we already have, and I think we're going to keep on going. Like, I think this has been a breakout that you're meant to buy. How can you be bearish? Like, paint me the bearish picture for crypto here. Genuinely.
There isn't one. I mean,
if Bitcoin goes to 100K, we spoke about this. Like, what's the things that could do a 3 to 5x by year end?
That's the sort of environment I think you can see ETH perform well in. And
don't ETH bull, man. Just don't do it to me.
I'm not an ETH bull. I'm not an ETH bull, but I'm just saying.
All right. So how are you feeling about the market? This is quite a day to be involved in cryptocurrencies. I had a lot of people messaging me, asking me about trades. I sometimes send trades over to our previous work, and I sent them all the GOAT thesis at 500 million a few days ago. None of them bought it. But now they're all coming into me being like, oh, I'm interested now. A bit late. But what do you think? Do you think we're going to keep going?
Yeah, I think so. I think the price action is probably what I expected. Like, not crazy blow off top, but quite modest price action. And it's nice to see that we've generally stabilized and held the gains on Bitcoin. I think we're 74.5K right now. Sol's obviously outperforming pretty well. I kind of would have expected meme coins to be higher than what they are. I know we've had like a decent move in a bunch, but I kind of expected them to be higher. But at the same time, it just feels like the entire meme coin market was positioned for this. So it might take a bit more time there. I don't know. But the question is what happens tomorrow and the day after and the day after. I think if we can close today like at all-time highs on that daily candle, then I think tomorrow onwards it could get quite interesting.
I think we're going to hit all-time highs. I think we're going to smash through them, to be honest, man. Like, we already have, and I think we're going to keep on going. Like, I think this has been a breakout that you're meant to buy. And the only thing I thought could knock us off course is if Biden decides to just destroy the Bitcoin they have in the reserve so far. So like it kind of ruins Trump's strategy around that and just sells it all.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty dick move. You can't really do that, right?
Well, who cares? Like they've already lost. Like they might as well just go for it. I think that's the only thing. But other than that, like, how can you be bearish? Like, paint me the bearish picture for crypto here. Genuinely,
there isn't one. I mean, there isn't one for crypto. Like, the only bearish thing I can think of really is maybe we're starting to price in stuff like Bitcoin Reserve and Gary Gensler getting fired and deregulation, and maybe that's not a priority for the new Trump administration, so it takes longer to affect these things, and people are maybe expecting them to happen tomorrow. That's the only thing I can say. But even then, like that's not priced in. Like Bitcoin Reserve, it doesn't mean Bitcoin's at 70. That's I think not priced. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. The thing is, and then you can play for like a decent return there. But I think everyone is so anxious not about being long Bitcoin, but about finding like the right Bitcoin beta so you can make that 10x or 20x or whatever it is. Whether that's meme coins, whether people are like dipping into alts or whatever. I don't really know, but that's the thing here. It's not like Bitcoin will probably go to north of 100K and maybe even like 150K, but for it to go to 100K, that's exciting for most people, I think. And I think
I don't know if you're breaking up or if I think you're breaking up or I'm breaking up.
I think I was breaking up, but I think I'm back now.
Fantastic. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but to be honest, like Bitcoin dominance is at 61%. It did not dip at all. Bitcoin dominance is up only. Steph freaking out about his internet right now.
I'm back, right? Can you see me? Can you hear and see me? Hello.
You look like you live in a third world country, but yeah, you're there.
I literally have the fastest internet possible in Turkey. Like I don't understand why it's so slow. I guess I've answered my question there.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, it does feel as though maybe just levered Bitcoin is still just the best trade. Like risk adjusted, Bitcoin just keeps winning. But it feels. What I was surprised about is we didn't have what you said. Like I feel like we were going to have a meme coin runner. I think we will over the next week or the next few days. We're going to see a proper huge run. I think in a few meme coins, like new ones. I think you got to be looking at Pump Fund for some of these new ones at the moment because some of these new metas are just going to be absolutely. They're going to be so jacked up. Everyone is so keen to gamble right now. It feels like, but then the ones that we've spoken about before, like the AI style meme coins, the Murad memes, the let's say like the more TikTok style memes, they've all smashed it as well. Like I think honestly, you can start to think about bull market multiples on some of this stuff because at the end of this week, I reckon I'll get a bunch of people ask me like, what should I buy in crypto? What should I get involved in? And I think they're gonna come in and they're gonna buy meme coins. And yeah, I really do think it could be a really, really big run.
So where do you think meme coins can go now? Like let's take like some of the big cap stuff. So let's take like Pepe and Whiff. Pepe is at what, like a $4.5 billion market cap or something like that. Whiff is at 2.3. Where do you think they go? And then where do you think something like SPX, MOG, PopCat go? It's sort of like the 800 mil to $1 billion range. Because I feel like the easiest play right now, if you want to play memes, is buy the established ones. But obviously, there's less upside in those compared to the less established ones. But you have higher probability of it going higher. But what multiples are we playing for? Like if I buy a MOG, what multiple am I looking at there? Like what am I playing for? Is it like a 2x or is it a 10x?
Yeah, it's difficult because I think what I was on a stream with Wiz yesterday. He was like, "There's just not enough liquidity in the market to support all these $1 billion plus meme coin valuations." Part of me agrees with that, and part of me doesn't. I do still think that like altcoin into meme coin trade could still happen, but I do think that I think the Murad memes start to get a bit squashed here. I don't know if you agree with that. Like, I don't think SPX is going to flip PopCat, for example.
Yeah.
And I feel like because they've all done really, really well. Now they're all like hundreds of millions, and like they all kind of have their place. They all need to move up in unison, and I think they kind of get in each other's way a little bit. I don't know if you kind of agree with that. I like the ones where they're slightly different, I would say, or like Frog, for example, I think has done really well because it's not a Murad meme. I think it's done well because it's like seen as its own thing, and you're not looking at the one above it in his list, right? Even though like the Murad memes have done well, I'm just saying to you, I think the real runners will be the ones that aren't the Murad memes. That's my gut in this. His ones are more safe bets, I think. But so I think if Bitcoin goes to 100K, we spoke about this. Like, what's the things that could do a 3 to 5x by year end? I still think that those, in my mind, from here, I said it last week. There was Fwog, Mog, Goat, and Moodeng. Those are probably my four that I still think can do like a 3 to 4. Well, Fog's already done kind of 2x since I put that out, but like since last week, I reckon those are the ones I think could do like a 3 or 4x. Although weirdly, out of those, the one I'm least certain about is Mog. Even though I thought that would be the one, it just feels as though it's like it's kind of it just can't break out at that level, right? And you kind of a 3x feels like a big move on Mog because I think it's also a Murad meme. I feel like it's now becoming this kind of Mog versus SPX thing. Like they kind of, I preferred it when it was just itself. And that's like a kind of a 180 of what I was like a few weeks ago, where I was like, I know you're going to make money on the Murad memes, but I do think they get in their way. They're going to get in the way of each other a little bit.
Intra-cannibalization of Murad memes, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then when one of them sells off, like when the Bitcoin thing happened the other day, I think everyone then thinks about that for all the other Murad memes, right? It's like, if one of them's not doing well, like USA is down 40% today. I don't know if you've seen that. Like that's one of his memes.
I saw that, yeah.
And suddenly, like you kind of think about that in the context of them all, and I'm like, oh yeah, like don't know if I love that. Whereas Fwog, you don't think about that. I don't think you think about that for Go. I don't think you think about that for Moodeng. There's a few others like that, I think, where they can run.
I don't know. Like, there's also an argument to say because all the liquidity in Fwog, Goat, Moodeng, except Popcat, etc., is on Solana.
That's true.
It's all into that's kind of why I liked the ETH memes, because there weren't that many of them. So if you had like a new run, if every daily runner that we've had, or every weekly runner we've had, has always been on Solana, and that often steals liquidity from the other memes. But we haven't, because there's no daily runner on ETH or weekly runner on ETH. There's nothing to really steal liquidity from, and it feels like at this point now, people who are in MOG or who are in SPX, they're in it. Like those guys aren't really. I don't think there's that many people selling those meme coins and then bridging to Sol, and then buy and chasing Sol coins, right? I think by now we're sort of like a year, we are a year into this whole like Sol run. I think people have done that bridging and stuff. So that's why I kind of like preferred stuff like that. But it does mean, what it does mean is there's less volatility. Like MOG has been one of the least, when everything sold off, I think MOG was only down like 15%. Everything else was down like 50%. So, but I do think it just means you have to be patient. Like, I think you're just going to have one day when all that stuff breaks out. And the other thing I would say about the ETH memes is, like, God forbid ETH stages some sort of a rally. Like, let's say we do see an alt bounce now because of Trump being in control and potential deregulation, and that stuff becoming more investable for other people who aren't necessarily retail. If you, that's the sort of environment I think you can see ETH perform well in. And
don't ETH bull, man. Just don't do it to me.
I'm not an ETH bull. I'm not an ETH bull, but I'm just saying at these levels,
I agree with you.
I'm not advocating. To be clear, I'm not advocating buying ETH, but I think what I'm saying is I think the ETH meme coin trade's a good trade because they've performed well while ETH has been terrible. But imagine how much better they could potentially perform if ETH was also doing well. That's what I'm saying. I think they're quite convex here, is what I'm saying, basically.
I'm definitely bullish on ETH. I think ETH is as a network being used. I've been saying for a while that I prefer Coinbase to ETH, right? Coinbase is up 26% today. ETH is up 10. I like to compare those two charts because I think Coinbase is going to have so much people tokenize on it for base, right? That, like, you know, people look at MicroStrategy versus Bitcoin. I think Coinbase becomes like an ETH proxy, but which gets a lot of revenue from it, particularly in the US. So I don't know if it's difficult with ETH, right? Like, how the hell is it still at 26.50? Like,
ETH was at 4K at one point this year. Just think about that.
26.50. When we came into crypto, when we first came into crypto, ETH was like at 1,500. Yeah. And it topped out at 4,900 the day that we quit our jobs. I still love that fucking story. But yeah, I think ETH meme coins actually is a bit mixed because I think people with ETH sometimes spend them on meme coins right now because they want high beta ETH plays, but they don't want to own ETH. You know what I mean? Whereas ETH, like sometimes when Solana runs, Solana meme coins don't actually do that well. And I think that's kind of sometimes the same with ETH. They're not necessarily ETH beta coins to me. Like MOG doesn't act like an ETH beta coin, neither does Pepe. Yeah. But yeah, I think you can get bullish on it. I think Pepe actually, genuinely, I've been so surprised at how weak Pepe has been. Like Doge just added like 4 billion in 2 days, right? And Pepe, if you're thinking for like normies coming in and buying crypto, I kind of feel like Pepe is an obvious one, but it just continues to like not really see that much interest in it, which has like really surprised me. The fact that like Fwog, which to me feels like a Pepe derivative to a certain extent, is at like 500 million, just can't not go higher every single day, and no one even looks at Pepe, just kind of feels surprising. But yeah, I guess that's it. That kind of is.
Yeah, I think part of it is like, it's sort of the argument I said about Bitcoin as well. It's like, if you're trying to like make a silly amount of money and change your life, are you buying Pepe at 4 bill, or are you buying some random coin at 100 mil, just because of the perceived upside in it? You sort of need big whales to jump in and buy Pepe and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's the thing. You need a lot to move Pepe. Needs a lot because a lot of holders as well.
although Doge has been moving and literally been adding billions of dollars of market cap. Like Doge is up more than the entire market cap of Pepe in the space of like 2 days or something like that, or like multiples of that, I think, right? So
I always just come back to Pepe. Just looks so undervalued to me. Like it's just the meme, but it never like it just has very short periods of just massive outperformance, and then doesn't really do anything for a long time. It's a very frustrating meme coin to be in. I think this, for the most of this year, had such an amazing run up, and everyone's like, this is it's gonna go to 15 bill. This is gonna flip shib, and then it kind of just went sideways for a long time now, and a lot of the action has been on Sol. But if Doge has moved, you got to assume that Pepe can move too, which is so. What are you doing now? Because I know you like semi de-risked a few months ago, and then you kept, but then you just kept DGen bags, and then what's your plan here? You want to get back into the market? You want to play the run up to 100? Or are you just going to keep the bag that you currently have in?
I mean, I bought a lot of risk at the beginning of September, remember? So I still have, and I was going to de-risk before the elections, which I didn't do.
Right.
And then I was worried about UK capital gains taxes, but that wasn't as bad, and I'm basically leaving the UK anyway. So I don't know. I think it's difficult to really know what to do. I'm inclined to not really do anything. Like I think I have good positions, and I'm not really that focused on getting the best. I don't care about getting the best performing meme coin in this time, as long as my meme coins do, I'd be happy with like a 2x on some of this stuff, just because I have like large position sizes. I'm fine with like a 2x, but if the stuff that I own does like a 3 to 5x, and I'm happy with that. I'm not looking for those 100x trades right now. I still will do a bit of DJing gambling on the side, but it's more just to satisfy my sort of like having a taste rather than rather than being anchored to like I need to make 100x sort of thing. But yeah, I don't think you need to do much. I think there's probably about 10 meme coins that are pretty well established right now that you can buy that I think will do well. I think Bitcoin will continue to do well. I think Sol does well until the end of the year, and next year I'm a bit less constructive on it given the unlocks. So yeah, you can ride this wave pretty easily now. I think it's just a question of, do you want to ride the wave and have a really high probability of making decent money, or do you want to try and ride the wave by having a lower probability of making a shitload of money? And that's I think the decision you're faced with.
So what I did agree with what you said before was ETH does feel like a good market for meme coins, and it does feel like the market's like crying out for like a new ETH meme coin, I would say. And in separate news, how did the Rekt drinks thing go?
Yes, it went pretty well. So we sold out. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, nothing. Well, how's it gone? Why don't you tell everyone about it?
I want to know what's so funny.
Nothing. You never listen to anything I say anyway.
I was listening to what you're saying. You're talking about ETH.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah, tell us about it.
Don't know what to say about it really. We sold out just over 220,000 drinks last week.
You've seen Logan Paul and you've seen KSI when they're selling this thing. They're shilling it down people's throats. When I say to you that sell this thing, you can't say just don't really know what to say, man. Sold 220,000 drinks. You just did a raise for 1.5 million. You could do a bunch of different partnerships. Like,
I'm just not a natural born shiller. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't believe in the hard chill approach. I believe in the sort of soft chill approach.
You're a soft shiller.
not even a soft shiller, just a little.
Don't say anything.
Just don't say anything and let people. Like those websites I make where it's just the logo and nothing else. Like,
just retweet and then retweet when people don't say enough about you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only emotional tweet I've seen from you about Rekt Drinks. It's like
exactly.
No one anything about us.
Yeah. Basically, I say nothing and then I say fuck all of you and say anything about it. just go from like really chill to like really aggressive. That pretty much sums up me as a person, doesn't it?
I'm a soft chiller. Everyone's going to chill for me. I'm not saying a word, but if no one chills, the silent chill that's what the chat's saying. All right. Well, I hope this drink does well. On the back of that, do you see what happened with EPIK today? That's a bag that.
No, can you explain it to me? I don't know. I didn't really see it properly.
Yeah, I did put it in our private chat multiple times over the last few weeks, but yeah, we you just listen to fucking nothing I say. So we've partnered with
I'm listening.
You know how Solana did the phone, the Saga phone?
Yeah.
They're now doing so they've worked. This team called PlaySolana got a big grant from the Solana Foundation. They're doing a gaming device, a handheld gaming device, so you can play a bunch of different games in this thing called the PSG1. And we've partnered with them. We're going to do an EPIK PSG1, of which 10% of all the sales from it are going to be used to buy back EPIK. You're going to get an airdrop. Unspecified how much for the first 3,000 buyers of it. So very similar to Mew did the airdrop alongside the Saga phone, and they're going to do that with a bunch of different things. So if you buy these, I think they're going to do a few different airdrops as well. And then EPIK's going to be used for all the currencies in the game. So they're going to build. We're going to integrate it for all their games, and then they're going to build like marketplaces and that sort of stuff, and where it's going to be used in that. So I think this is going to be a long-term partnership for us. This is going to be this is quite a big one, and then we got a bunch of other. And we got so many other ones coming.
So how is EPIK still at like 10? What is it? 15 mil market cap, whatever it is.
Yeah. No, it's at 17 now. It's at 17 now. I don't know. Like, I just feel as though it takes a lot. I don't know if you know about this. Like, whenever I see someone's exited EPIK, like, we've had a few of these where it's run up and it's been sold. Even this recent one, like we ran up to like 30 million-ish, 35, I think peak, like on one wick, but I think 30 million probably is our highest ever close. And people just sell to be the new meme coins. Like somebody sold like 200K to get into like some of the holy meta coins, and then they sell them to get into like peanut, and you see it. It's just so hard to like keep momentum, I think, because there's just so many new coins. But I do think that what I now have learned is that like having a meta, having your own thing is quite powerful. I do think we've got that now. Whereas before, I felt as though like we were just like a fun coin that people enjoy being a gaming meme coin. We're now able to do partnerships that nobody else is doing. Like nobody else is doing what we just did. Nobody else is going to be able to partner with all these different games, bring on a bunch of different streamers to like create content around it, and like have tournaments for like epic prizes, that sort of stuff. So it can become a bit more like an ecosystem coin as well for like gaming in general. And I think that is that can be stronger, but it takes a little bit of time, for that to get through. Because although we have like a disturbing amount of diamond hands, it's like 91%. So I need to check on it, but it's really, really high. If someone wants to sell 200K, sometimes it's just like you just lose momentum. There's nothing I can really do about it. Like you just lose momentum, and then someone sells. But I think we're going to get a lot.
Now, how does someone buy one of those consoles then? Where do you go?
So we have a link. If you go to the EPIK.coin account, we now have a EPIK. You just click on the EPIK link to buy one, and 10% of all of that will be used to buy back EPIK. So these guys want to sell like 500,000 of these. Like they want to sell a metric ton of these, and you can buy the EPIK version. If you've previously bought one as well, you can get a previous one, but you can buy any of these and it'll still get the EPIK. We'll still buy like EPIK. So even if you want to get like a different one, then you can do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Yeah, so that's what I've been up to alongside a ton of other stuff. But yeah, my big bag. So what are your big bags now? Like, if still just Mog, like it feels like you
Mog.
just Mog.
Mog's my biggest bag. Yeah, the thing is, I haven't really been that inclined to sell it because
Don't
it's
sell
still.
it.
Sorry, no, I know, but like I haven't been that inclined to like rotate it because it's still like a legacy, not legacy position, but a position I've had for like over a year now. So obviously, like my tax liability is quite high on it. But I don't know. I guess maybe if I leave the UK, but I don't know. I just think I don't feel. It's like the whole Murad thing. I just don't feel like I want to change that from being my biggest position. Still, I don't know. Feel quite attached to it.
Of course, everyone in Mog feels attached to it.
Yeah, obviously I'm an EPIK. Too embarrassed to talk about my other soul shit coins, so I won't mention them.
Which ones have you played and done well on recently? Which ones have you played and not done well
Yeah,
on?
that's a good question. So I did well on LUCE.
I think we all did, but you did really well, Luce.
I just went into it. I mean, I didn't do crazy well, but I think LUCE was like a 7 or 8x for me, and I put in like 50K or something like that. So I did well on that. Made a bit of money on MOODENG, but
did you already sell it? I thought you bought it yesterday.
no, I didn't buy it yesterday. MOODENG.
Oh, I thought that we like discussed you buying it yesterday.
No, really.
I was like, I think you should buy.
Oh,
MOODENG.
I thought about doing it, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't do it.
All right.
I mean, I do own one of the MOODENGs, but I'm not going to talk about that. What else have I punted around in? Made a little bit of money on one of Elon's pet things, Marvin.
Oh, you bought the Marvin one.
I bought like 3 Marvins. I made some like a little bit of money on one of them, but sold that. Not really big. The FWOG is the one that kills me because I used to own like 1% of FWOG when it was like sub 20 million market cap, and I sold all of it to buy RTR, which obviously I got wrecked on. So,
how's RTR doing today? I know. I guess I don't even want to see that. I saw people going into it.
Yeah, it spiked today. It went up to like a 30 or maybe like a 25 mil market cap, and
the LPs just
it's back down since then.
4.5 LP can't move.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, yeah, it's kind of back down from its intraday highs, but yeah, as you can see, a lot of liquidity, 4.25 million liquidity.
Yeah, so the ones that I've obviously, we were in LUCE together. I think that's the trade. Like, if you are not in the Frank D gods looking at every single coin, every single moment, you've got to have a really good filter for the coins that get to 1 million and actually is something novel. Like, it's not an AI coin done differently. It's just got to be something really different. And I think you can actually run those up pretty well. Like, I have the I have the filters on BullX for like the new ones, and then I have the filters on Deck Screener actually for like ones between 1 to 10 million, and then ones like above 10 million. And I've been okay at catching some of these like recently. Like we caught LUCE. I caught Peanut actually relatively early. Ran that one up. Goat continues to be the one that like kills me. That like we really debated it for a long time, and then we didn't do it. But then I've gone in very big on Goat now. And
I like it and I don't like it. I would like it if it was cheaper. We talk about this a lot, but no, it's cheaper than where it went.
It went down to 400 million, dude. You had it.
I think I like it. I definitely like it. Like it's a very interesting and novel concept, but I don't know, just something about that account and how it's managed.
Yeah.
Just rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, I don't fully trust it. Basically, I don't fully trust it to buy it at these levels, and I think if it was at like 100 mil, I'd go into it pretty big because I feel like the risk reward is a bit more. But I think to your point, the downside is like at 400, it feels like the downside is maybe a bit capped there. But I don't know. It just
That was my
feels,
trade. It
yeah,
was upside downside. Once, as soon as I saw the A16Z podcast, I was like, they're not going to let this thing go to 200 now. Like, there's no way. Like, it's got that like stamp of approval from VC that I also think that aside from it being that sort of Murad meme, if you're a liquid like big fund in crypto at the moment, like a big hedge fund or even like a VC fund that dabbles in coins, and you've purposely missed all the meme coins, I reckon you can probably pitch that you can buy Go because it's got that like air of legitimacy around it, not just being like a fluffy animal. Like if you lose, $50 million on a fluffy animal, like it's not a good look. But if you lose that on Go, I feel like people think it's kind of a bit more legitimate.
yeah, I think that's true. I think you're right. The A16Z thing, like, there's a lot of these things where these trades became really obvious, but I was just too busy on the Rekt stuff to even like think about trading. And I just read the Go. I mean, we heard about Go at 50K and just sort of, it was one of those coins I watched it every single day as it went high. And I was just like, fuck, I know I should buy this, but I just don't have time to look at it properly. And then Peanut was the same thing. Like I was catching some of these like LUCE and stuff, and then Peanut was like the day we were launching drinks. And I saw it at the Peanut at like 6 mil, and I was like, oh, this seems interesting, but I just didn't have time. So,
Well, the lead dev, sorry, not the lead dev, one of the lead mods of EPIK had like 3% of GOAT at one stage, right?
yeah, insane, right?
Absolutely insane. It does feel like, I think there's going to be more of this though. We need to see what like LUCE was a classic one. Like I hadn't seen anything like that this cycle apart from Smoking Chicken Fish in it.
I
And
like the LUCE one is a good narrative. It's like
it may come back.
like the Pope and the Catholic Church, the Vatican's mascot is the fucking milady. Like it's almost like that's the closest thing we'll ever get to like God gracing a meme coin sort of thing. Like if it just, I bought it like this feels like divine intervention to like the meme coin market. Like,
Yeah. Maybe that is one that runs again. I know some people who are still in it and still like this is one. Like I know we got out, but it does. You need those sort of stories that are like they're really unique. Like no one's done that.
Yeah, the reason why I got out of it because I felt like I couldn't find.
The carpets is in it. Look, it has come back.
I couldn't find the community. I couldn't find the whale chat, all that kind of stuff. Like I couldn't. I didn't. The Twitter link on deck screen I just linked to like the Vatican's website, which was actually kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't really find the community, and then I just thought, oh, maybe like it will fizzle out. But I could be wrong. Part of me still wants to own it. So,
what about Moodeng? Moondeng.
I like the main coin. Yeah, I like I do like that too. I think there's probably some sort of Binance cabal behind it because of the perps listing, and obviously there's some rumors flying around today about Moodeng as well.
That's the whale / insider chat for Moondeng now. Like not insider, but like the main people who own. It doesn't feel very Binance cabal. Let's put it that way. No. It's more milady.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that a lot.
But that's got listed everywhere. That's why.
Yeah. Where does that go? Where does that go though? Where does Moondeng go? Like 1 billion, 500?
Well, I like it because it's not. It doesn't feel like. Peanut feels like Moodeng feels like the first of these TikTok memes to really go for it, right? Like, what's the last TikTok meme? There's nothing above it that's like a big TikTok meme, right?
Yeah.
It's like is that. Remember, we had the whole after it became big. You had all the other cute animals in zoos around the world, all become a meta for like 2 weeks. I I just think the volume, the only thing that keeps tracking me to it is just the volume. Like the perp volume to me is just, I haven't seen volume like, it's just way too big. The only time I've seen that, well, 2 times is Whiff and Pepe, which is, I'm not saying it's going to do that, but coins like that at 150 million, that doesn't make sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't see over $1 billion of perp volume every day for a week, and now it's over 500 million pretty much consistently every single day for a coin at 150. That feels like a coin that is going to do, is not going to die, right? So if it's not going to die, it's going to be above, it's going to be always above 100. So again, the risk reward is like, just look good for me. That's how I always think about these rates, just risk reward. Like, is it going to die?
Yeah.
And if it's not going to die, where's the point to buy it? Or like, what's your loss?
It does feel like, it does remind me of Whiff, because I obviously I was early into Whiff and I started reducing the position, but the main reason why I held on to a lot of it for so long was because the perp volume every day was just insane. It was like consistently like top 10, sometimes even top 5 perp volume. And to me, that was just like, okay, people aren't just randomly gambling that much on Whiff. Like, there must be something more to it, I think. So, that I think is a very bullish sign for Moodeng. And that's the reason why I said like Binance Insider cabal type thing, because I just thought, someone's obviously pushing this thing to get big. But yeah, how important do you think Binance listings are now? Like, if Moodeng got a spot Binance listing, where do you think it's tomorrow? Let's say, where do you think it goes? Having already had now that it already has a perp listing.
Yeah, spot listings, because I'm also I've been in a few of these sort of like, obviously because of the size, we normally get into some of these coins. Like we get into like the whale chats and that sort of stuff. Spot listings are expensive, right? Like Bybit asks for hundreds of thousands. Binance asks for hundreds of thousands. It's expensive to do that. And sometimes they're good. Sometimes they can be mixed. I think now that Trump has come in or is about to come in, I think Coinbase is going to be much more aggressive at listing a bunch of these coins. And I actually think there's going to be a bit more, whereas Binance and Bybit like were the two, right? They're like the two biggest that you could get for a spot listing. Suddenly now I think a lot of the US ones can come back and like do listings. So it becomes a bit more competitive. So I actually think you're going to get a lot more listings. I think that's also why one of the bull cases for Pepe is like, suddenly a market which is really just Bybit and Binance, and they could basically charge a meme coin hundreds of thousands, up to like 1 million sometimes if you include some of the native tokens to like be listed. Now I think they can get Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, all for spot, right, in the US, and I think that would be like a more aggressive market. So hopefully, I think more of these will get listed, particularly the active ones. So like again, Moodeng could get listed by Coinbase quite easily here. It's been listed for perps by everything, and it's still doing those crazy volumes. So it'll get people asking about it. Probably just creates even bigger bull case for meme coins, if I'm honest. The fact that you can have more people being able to list them.
Does it, it used to be this big thing where, if you got listed on Binance, the token would rip, and the speculation of it would cause it to rip. And obviously Pepe last year went crazy, went to $1.2 billion on Binance rumors, and then obviously it happened. Whiff went crazy on it, but Bone went crazy on it. But now, because we had a lot of perp listings and we will probably have more spot listings, has that novelty feeling of that Binance listing now worn off? And because there are so many more meme coins, like remember last year, it was literally just Pepe. And it was like the biggest thing ever. And then later in the year, we had Bonk, and then we had Whiff in Q1. But it was just like 3. Whereas now, if you suddenly have like loads of them, does that mean that we just have loads of meme coins at like $1 billion market caps? Or does it mean that the novelty feeling of it starts to wear off a little bit?
Yeah, what I do think is that the perp listing, like most of these, if you actually look at the revenue from these firms now, like perps, they make the majority of their money because everyone gets liquidated and they make a ton. But I think perp listings for meme coins actually sometimes is very mixed. particularly of the numbers I just mentioned to you. I don't know how much perp listings are. I think they're too much cheaper than spot listings. But like, let's say a centralized team gets a perp listing. They normally are spending a few $100,000 and then they're shorting this thing. Like, they hedge themselves, right? Like, how many times have you seen a perp listing for all of these, and then suddenly the thing gets demolished straight up? Ponky did it the other day. Ponky went down like 40% on a I think it was Bybit or Binance spot perp listing, because I'm just, maybe it's conjecture here, but like, I reckon teams, they go, hey, we can fund this, but then as soon as it gets listed, they short it so that they can sell some to cover the costs of that, and so it then goes down like a mini bear period, and then it rebounds, or it doesn't. Sometimes, like, it takes a long time to rebound. So perp listings, I don't know if are anywhere near as bullish as spot listings.
Yeah,
loads of people will list you for perps, and actually perps is often like a way for the team to get out in like this, like, because they can short it like 10x and then start selling some spot, and they're like hedged all the way down. Perp listing is like a grail for some of these teams, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you can't really, I guess, with perp listings as well, people just trade on leverage and stuff, and it can cause liquidations in the volatile market, which sometimes isn't good for the token. So
yeah. So if you were to buy things that weren't MOG, because I've said, like, I like Moodeng, I like obviously I have EPIK, Moodeng, MOG, FWOG, and GOAT. Are there any others you like, or are you just looking for a new runner? Are you just going to play the runner game from like 1 to 100?
I think because we've just had elections and we had Peanut, but there doesn't seem to have been a new runner since then, unless I haven't been focused on stuff today in the trenches today. But I reckon there's going to be a new runner. It's just the environment for runners. So I think there's going to be a new runner in the next few days, post election. And I think you have to like really catch that and go for it. And I kind of like, some of the Murad stuff is down or has underperformed in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I kind of like going into those coins as well, because I do feel like you can buy and hold that stuff, and you're based on his analysis and perception, which I think is actually correct. I think it's right. I do agree with it. I think you're getting into coins where people will, truly ride them for the rest of the cycle, sort of thing. So I kind of like buying dips on those, I would say, as well.
Yeah. So we go through them. Like, what are the Murad memes right now? Like, so you have.
Should we pull up his
Yeah, Popcat. Popcat's at 1.5 again. That dip down to 1.2. I did buy some of that dip on Popcat actually on leverage, but I do like Popcat now. I feel like that one could run. USA. EPIK just flipped USA. That's kind of wild.
So what happened with USA?
I actually don't know, but that's not a wick I would have expected. It's actually even happened in like today. It kind of happened.
Just sold the news, sort of thing, or
Well, it happened this morning. That's the thing. It happened at 6:30 a.m. So our time. So like, it happened as the election was being called. It was at 42 million.
Yeah.
And then someone just, clearly a lot of people just got out. Retardio's at 200. Lock-in is at 90. Giga's at 700. Wow. Minis at 56. SPX is at 800. Ticker Bitcoin's at 230. Mogs at 820. Appy's at 300. I don't know, man. I like Popcat, Mog, and I've heard, like, I really liked Giga, but then someone was saying that it's so still unbelievably insiders. Like, if you go through those wallets, it's like all the top holders have like the same holding. I don't know if you've seen this, but they all own like 9.6 billion or 40.
Isn't that like what he's saying is the bull case because they're not selling, sort of thing?
No. Like the exact same holding. So it looks like somebody's like split 40 million into like 10 different wallets. You know what I mean? So it's like there's clearly bubble map linked wallets there. But I do think Giga could do a 3x, I reckon, until year end. Lock-in, I think probably could, although I don't love that as a meme, I would say. It just doesn't feel as memey as the others.
I agree. It's more of a frame of mind, which I get, but it doesn't feel. I never see it on the timeline. It doesn't feel like very memeable to me.
I like Vidamo. I think he's a funny guy, and I think he obviously did take a Bitcoin, ran it up, but I don't know. I think that's like 100. I would think that's like more like $100 million meme. Retardio, I always go back and forth on because I always feel like this thing is actually real crypto vernacular now, but then it feels a bit like moggish. Like whenever
why does that never break out?
Never really breaks out. Like it always feels like there's somebody willing to sell Retardio. I think part of that is because it doesn't have anywhere near the same number of spot listings or exchange listings because no one wants to Retardio. Sigma, actually, that's been said in the chat. Like that wasn't on his list, but Murad talks a lot about Sigma, and I quite like these like Murad adjacent memes. You know what I mean? Like the ones that aren't on his list, but like people like. So like Sigma, I would agree with, but like probably, and it's obviously got some big people behind it, like so like KOLs behind it. So probably feels like that one could probably keep going, in my opinion.
I like that too.
There's another one called like Alpha. I think I've seen these like Giga, Sigma, Alpha, and Alpha's maybe Alpha's a good play. You hear it?
Doesn't feel very. This doesn't. I think like my first impressions of a meme are really important because it's like, is it something that I feel like I can get behind, or I feel like a community can get behind? And if it's not funny or if there's not a good story, I think I find it really hard to go into stuff. Obviously, you miss stuff that way as well, but I think that's generally my rule. Like I never really buy a meme coin where I'm not like feeling it, sort of thing. Like Sigma, I sort of like feel and get it, but Alpha, less so, I think.
So the other thing I've been looking at is, do you know Kaito AI? So every single day, I just type in mindshare. Just if you do this every day, somebody always posts the details of what is the biggest mindshare stuff going on right now, because it costs like $1,000 a month to have this. But if you go to Memecoins, I think they have the top 20 meme coins actually from today. I don't know if we can bring that up. It's one of the, maybe I'll put it in the show notes. But Frog is number 1 actually at 18% mindshare. That's wild. Number 2 is Fartcoin, which is like the beta to Goat. I do think playing Goat betas might make a little bit of sense here, and that trades at 50 million. Then it's Goat. Then it's SBX, Popcat, Moodeng, Bonk, Whiff. Interestingly, this one, Kobe, always comes up, which is like that one that they paid everyone to shill, but it's interesting that it's high. And Lucy's back in it, actually. Lucci. So we just spoke about that. The other ones are just like ones you'd know, so like Retardio, Lock-in, SCS. Like the ones that look like, oh, that's surprising that's there, are Lucci and Kobe to me. And the fact that Frog is 3x the 2 coins behind it.
Yeah.
Is Frog just going to keep going? Like I just don't.
Feels like it. Feels like it's going to keep going. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's got a good.
The artist is clearly killing it.
It's good vibes. I think it's just good vibes on Frog. That's the main thing that you need.
Pepe adjacent memes, man. They always run the.
All right, we're past the hour now, so should we
Oh wow, okay. All right. I think that's it, no?
That's it, yeah.
But you gonna do the drink code?
No, because the drank season ended yesterday.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, we actually did have some prizes. We were gonna give some money away. We're gonna go $1,000. Does anyone want to win that? How do we win that? I've forgotten. Are we doing a code or something? Oh, here we go. The code word is Gensler out. If you go into rafflebot.xyz, thank you Dgentai, legend of the Rekt guy community, and you type in Gensler out, we will pick someone from rafflebot.xyz now. to win $1,000.
Nice.
I know, right?
Should I enter myself?
So we have to go. Are you doing this intern for us? Oh, maybe he is. Is he going to share his screen? Ooh. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay. So, have we already done the winners? No. Oh, we already did the winners. Here we go. So, Rekt Radio.
No. We haven't done it yet.
No.
He said
Okay.
there's just 2 participants, one of which
Just
is Rekt
two parts.
Radio.
If you go to raffle.xyz, Rekt Radio 91, Gensler out, all caps. Oh, is the site down? Someone said.
It must
we've
be
got two
down,
entries
right?
so
There's
far.
no way we're gonna have 2 people.
Ari's give us some time, mate. Yeah, sorry about this. We were not. We forgot we were going to do this. Thank you, DYDX, for your for understanding.
There we go.
Oh, here we go. Intern's got to refresh. Site working. Okay. We'll wait. We will wait another minute. So if you're listening to the show and you want to win $1,000, potentially go to rafflebot.xyz, type in Gensler out, all caps. Tabs is entered. Tabs, you win too much. Okay, we'll give it another 10 seconds. 10. All right. And we're calling it. All right, you want to refresh now, and then let's see what we end up with. Ooh, 59. Pretty good odds to win $1,000. That.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Random draw. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, Daniel Solana. Love it. Well done, Daniel. If you contact the Rekt Radio page, we will give out $1,000. We're probably gonna give that out for the next few shows, actually, because we did do some degen trading on DYDX and we made money. I was doing that for the boys. Don't worry about it. Bought some Solana. So yeah, we'll see you again next week with KBM. We are gonna have a few more guests for that. We will see you again soon. Bye, Seth. Thank you for listening.
Cheers.
Brother.